Everyone, this week is Parshat Bet Hanan. Today is the 7th of Av. I'd like to turn your attention this week to chapter 6, verse 2, where Moshe tells the Jewish people the purpose of these mitzvos and laws that Hashem is commanding all of us to keep. L'man tirat Hashem lakecha, in order for us to know, to fear, to have an awareness of God, lishmor et chukasav, and to keep the statutes, mitzvasav, and the mitzvos asher anochi mitzavcha, which I have commanded you. And here's the part of the pasuk that I want us to focus on. Ata, you, vincha, your children, uben bincha, and your grandchildren, kol yimei chayecha, all the days of their lives, ulaman yarichun yamecha, and may their days be lengthened. In order for their days to be lengthened. The Nitziv, the Emek HaDavar, says on this idea that when doing the mitzvot, when a parent will do mitzvot, their children will observe them, and they too will follow in their parents' path. In other words, in order to teach our children, we have to be role models. Reb Sadia Gaon, and I want to thank Rabbi Shalom Rosner for pointing this out, Reb Sadia Gaon on this pasuk expands it even further. And he says that it is incumbent upon all of us to be involved in the world and through our actions, not only live a spiritual life for ourselves, but to help elevate other people's spirituality by our own actions. The Emek HaDavar goes on to say in his Perush that when your grandchildren will emulate their grandparents, and of course the children, their parents, there will be mezake es harabim. Mizake es harabim means they will strengthen the community. So on the 3rd of Av, that was about 4 days ago, I get a text from Rabbi Chaim Burke, and for those who have been following my channel, 3 years ago I introduced he and his wife Chavi, who are shluchim, Chabad shluchim, and in Montana, in the United States, a place called Bozeman. And he sent me a text, and we've kept up a wonderful friendship all this time. And he told me that he has a 12-year-old boy who's going to have a bris, as well as another child. And the story's a little bit complicated. But he said, I don't know, would you be willing, you and your friends in Riverdale, be willing to help out with this mitzvah for the cost of the mohel, and so on. So I said, I'm working on it right now. And he gave me a very reasonable number that I myself could have written a check and say, I'm done with it. But instead I said, you know what, why not share this mitzvah with other people? They certainly could say no, but they have the opportunity to say yes. And I figured during the 9 days, what a wonderful way meaningful way to commemorate these 9 days. So I sent out a text about 3 people, and I figured, with 3 people, that should be enough to cover it. Well, they all responded pretty quickly. And I said, you know what, let me just send that to a bunch more people. And before I knew it, and this was on a Friday, we had raised close to almost all the funds. I give a shiur, I give a class on Shabbat, and I tell the story over to people. And before I know it, on Motzei Shabbos, 2 of the participants in the shiur said, how can I participate? Short part of the story, right to the point, we raised all the funds for 2 brisim that are taking place actually tomorrow. Well, taking place on the 8th of Av, depends when you listen to this. But here's the even greater. That 3rd of Av was my grandmother's yard site, my maternal grandmother, Martha Eisenmesser. And I said, what greater way could I emulate and elevate her soul by being involved in helping others? Mizake es harabim. So as the Emek HaDavar said, that when you emulate those of your parents and grandparents, you elevate those around you. So I think it's really key. I did not know my grandmother because I was named after her, but I knew that she was a very kind and giving person. She didn't have a lot, but what she had, she shared. And I think the second thing that I'd like to share with my folks out there is, when you have an opportunity to do a mitzvah, think about sharing that opportunity with others. Don't take it personally if they say no, but maybe elevate them by giving the opportunity to say yes. I want to thank all my friends for participating. I want to wish Rabbi Burke out in Montana, he and his Rebbetzin, Hatzlacha Rabbi, continued success in bringing Yiddishkeit to the Jewish people. And thank you all for listening. If you're watching this before, I hope you have it Tzom Kal. And if not, I wish you a beautiful Shabbos Nachamu. Shabbat Shalom. And again, if you care, please share.